Welcome to this episode of Cooking with Kirby. Today we're going to be making a beautiful pork chop in a cast iron skillet. Using a cast iron skillet holds in a lot of heat and you get a really good sear. Plus you add some really good seasonings to a pork chop. Cook it like a steak. Comes out great. So let's get into the recipe so I can show you how I did it. You want to get you a good sized pork chop. This is about 1 inch thick. You can do it a little bit bigger. Now we're gonna go ahead and season it. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of lemon on there and give it a nice rub of that lemon all over your pork chop. Go ahead and do that on both sides. And then we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Now that's gonna add, some extra flavor. This is extra virgin olive oil. And then we're gonna go ahead and use that as a binder, and we're gonna season it up with Goya adobo. This seasoning has a really good garlic and oregano flavor. It's an overall good base for a seasoning. So go ahead and give a good coating of that seasoning on both sides. Now you want to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of black pepper on there, and then we're also going to top it off with a little bit of smoked paprika. This is going to add a nice smoky flavor to it. So with these three combination and the lemon and olive oil, the flavors are very fantastic. So we're going to be using cast iron. So go ahead and turn your meat to medium and let that heat up. And once it's heated up, go ahead and put your pork chops on there. This is gonna give it a nice good sear. That cast iron does, keep good heat, and it does a nice sear on your pork chops. Now we're gonna go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of butter. That's gonna give it some extra flavor and make those pork chops nice and juicy. Just go ahead and incorporate that butter, let it melt and just get it all over through your pan. After about 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and give our pork chop a flip. Now I do cook by temperature, so I let my pork chop at about 145 degrees. That way you get a nice, juicy, tender pork chop. So go ahead and let that cook for about another 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then we'll check the temperature. Now as that side's coming to, the end of the cook time on that side, go ahead and baste it with a little bit of that butter sauce. That's gonna add a lot of that extra flavor and make your pork chop a lot more juicier. That's where all the flavor's at. So we're gonna just try to implement that back into the pork chop. Now, before we check the temperature, we're gonna go ahead and give it another flip, and we're gonna go ahead and baste that other side with our butter mix. Like I said, that's gonna add some really, really good flavor. And my wife enjoyed these, so trust me, just follow these steps and you'll have a beautiful, delicious pork chop. So as you can see, we're just go ahead and basting, and then we're gonna go ahead and check the temperatures of these pork chops. If your pork chop's not at least 145 degrees, go ahead and flip it and cook it for another minute and go ahead and continue basting. So you want it to get to a temperature of 145 degrees internally. And once it's done, we want to sear that little fat cap on the back of the pork chop. So go ahead and stand them up and put them vertical. And we're going to go ahead and give them a nice sear. Now we're gonna go ahead and just lay down a bed of mashed potatoes. You wanna make these creamy mashed potatoes, add some good butter and some whole milk and season them to perfection. Now you wanna go ahead and put your pork chop right on top and use a little bit of that butter from the pan just to, kind of sauce it up a little bit, and then some sauteed asparagus. This meal was fantastic. Trust me, if you do it like this, you're gonna enjoy it. You can substitute that seasoning for just any, nice seasoning that you want, but this was delicious. And do not skip out on the mashed potatoes. You want to get the asparagus, mashed potatoes, and pork chop all in one bite. So what do you think about that? Had a lot of flavor, very wonderful pork chop, and this meal can go any day of the week and you'll have it out on your table in no time. So if you're new to my channel, consider hitting the subscribe button so we can see future videos just like this and many more. If you would like the full printable recipe, visit cookingwithkirby.com and search pork chop. Or you can check the link down below and it'll take you directly over there. Now I have these other videos. They're very great recipes and you should try them out. Now y'all be beautiful and take care.